Welcome back. Governor Nasir El-Rufai is our guest tonight on Hard Copy. He's been taking questions on his call to the National Assembly for transparency. And now we turn our attention to that now famous leaked 30-page memo to Mr. President. We'll move to another controversy. This one has to do with the memo, which the National Assembly referred to in their response to you. You wrote that memo in September 2016 to the President. Why did you feel the need to write it?
Well, look, this is that memo is one of a long series of memos I've written to the President. Okay, it's not the first, it's not the 10th, it's probably closer to the 20th memo. I've been working very closely with the President for about 7 years, from the time we were in opposition in the CPC to the merger into APC and after. And anytime I see a fundamental issue that requires to be addressed by him, I discuss it with him. When we discuss, we debate, and I get his thoughts. I always tell him I will go back and articulate a memo, an action plan for you, Mr. President or General, whichever the case is. And I go back and I write that and I give it to him. I have been doing that for years.
So why do you think this one was leaked?
Well, I don't know why it was leaked, and now I know who leaked it. I can only say that it was leaked for two reasons. First, to make me look bad, as if I am disrespectful to the President. And this is why even in the memo, I said I apologize if it was too blunt or too honest, but it was what I felt the President needed to look at to put Nigeria on the right track. Okay, so one reason is to make me look bad. The other reason, of course, is to incapacitate the President from taking some of the decisions he needed to take that were recommended in the memo, some of which he has started acting on. The President just returned from his medical vacation, and those around him knew that he intended to make certain changes, and they leaked it just at that time so that it will not be seen that, you know, he's implementing Nasir El-Rufai's agenda. It's not my agenda. It is what I felt we needed to do to make Nigeria move forward. There is nothing in that memo that raised me as having a role in any of the decisions. All I was interested was analyzing the political, economic, and governance challenges that we were facing at the federal level and making suggestions for the President to make rectification. That was all. I had nothing to gain from writing that memo, and even when I was writing the memo, I knew that one day it will leak. I had the choice of sending the memo without putting my name, but I signed it because I believe in what was in that memo. I believed it was in the best interest of the President and Nigeria. I was driven by my love and respect for him and my gratitude to him, because it is largely because of Buhari that I'm governor today, and I appreciate that. And it is out of love for Nigeria and for Nigeria to be back on track that I wrote that memo. I challenge anyone to take anything that I wrote in that memo or I recommended in that memo that is not in the interest of Nigeria or that is to serve Nasir El-Rufai's interest. I had no interest.
So who leaked the memo?
I will not tell you who leaked the memo, but
Right.
I know who leaked it, and you know, and it is okay. Look,
You've already insinuated that the person is around the President, but you're not going to...
It was leaked from the villa, definitely. I can just tell you that much. But look, it is neither here nor there. Whether, even when I was writing the memo, I would be stupid not to appreciate that it can leak. And every memo I wrote to the President, I have that in mind. So it has leaked, okay.
Have your concerns been addressed? The concerns you raised in the memo?
Many of them are being addressed. Some have been addressed, many are being addressed. The President will take his time. He does things at his own time, but he knows those that give him the right counsel. And you know, I've done my bit, and that's it. Whoever leaks the memo, it was a private communication. I'm not going to say I didn't write it. I wrote it. As I said, I had the option of not putting my name, and it would be a memo circulating anonymously. But I always stand by what I believe, and I fear no man. I only fear the wrath of God.
Let me take you through two immediate things. You were concerned about 2019 in that memo. You told the president that you would like for him to run again.
Yes.
But considering now that the president's health is now a matter of guesswork, the president's health is not very strong,
Yes.
been very strong of late.
Yeah.
What do you think will happen in 2019?
I don't know. I don't know what will happen in 2019. My prayer is that the president gets well, gets better, gets back to the to full health and run again, because I still believe that his being president, the stability that he brings to the office is in the best interest of Nigeria.
What if he chooses not to?
That will be his choice, and then there will be a process within the party to produce a candidate. And I will look up to him to tell us, those of us that are his disciples, who to support or which way to go, and that is all. But I don't like to speculate on that, because 2 years is a long time in politics. Even 24 hours is a long time. But what I am concerned about now, and when I wrote that memo, I had no idea that the president has any health challenge. But the president is over 70 years old. There is no 70-year-old that does not have one health challenge or another. Even Nasir El-Rufai at the age of 57 takes medication every day for cholesterol. I have a cholesterol problem, okay? So there is nothing strange about a 70-year-old having one health challenge or another. The key question is that health challenge so serious as to prevent him from discharging the office of president? I think that's the key issue. And my prayer is that he gets very well. He has improved significantly in the last couple of weeks, and I hope he continues to get better and runs again, because I think it's in the overall interest of Nigeria's progress and stability for him to run 2 terms of office.
Okay, it's midterm into the 4-year tenure of your party you were elected in 2015, this is 2017. With that memo that you wrote, and looking at some of the things that has gone on so far, the fact that a lot of Nigerians, even those who voted for your party, are disappointed in terms of how things have turned out. How do you think your party will fare in 2019?
As I said, 24 hours is a long time in politics. 2 years is eternity, okay? It is too early now to predict what will happen in 2019, quite frankly. But having said that, let's come back to our midterm and our performance. I think that the federal government has done pretty well since the last time I wrote the memo. One of my concerns in September 2016 was the 2016 budget releases were not even being done. Budgets were not being implemented, and it was getting to the end of the year. Since then, releases have been ramped up. Over ₦1 trillion has been released, so the budget has been implemented. I think within the context of the challenges that we inherited and those that came after we came into office, I think the federal government has done decently well. Now, around the time that my memo was leaked, the PDP did a poll to say that, 2 years ago, you voted for change. If the elections were to take place today, who would you vote for again? 75% of those that responded to the poll still said we will vote for APC. Because Nigerians realize that a lot of the challenges we have now have little to do with what APC is doing, the APC government is doing or not doing, but more to do with dealing with the depth of inherited challenges.
But you also said that, we have failed to deliver even mundane matters of governance outside of our successes in fighting Boko Haram insurgency and corruption.
Yes.
Those were your words.
In September 2016, I'm saying between then and now, a lot has changed. A lot has changed for the better.
In mundane matters of governance?
Yes.
In what areas in particular?
We promised to launch our social protection program. It's on course. Okay? Empower is working. We are doing a primary school feeding program. Many of the things that I referred to in September 2016 have moved. Okay? So I don't think that people realize that this memo was written 7-8 months ago, and between then, a lot has changed. One of the issues that concerned me at the time, for instance, is that boards of parastatals and agencies were still being run by PDP appointees.
Isn't that still the case?
No. A lot of people have been cleared, boards are being formed. It's still slow. For me, it's still very slow. But even in Kaduna State, there are agencies that have not yet formed boards 2 years after for various reasons. So I understand.
That's it for today's edition of Hard Copy. Please tune in next week for the concluding part of the interview. Meanwhile, do send in your mails to hardcopy@channelstv.com or tweet @CityVHardCopy. Thank you for watching tonight. I'm Maokbe Ogun. See you next week.